bring it back from the top. All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Friday morning, a morning show edition of KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Manscaped. CP the franchise here. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. You know, a couple months ago, my guests and I were debating a Mikal Bridges trade. And what do you know what happened? So today's show, we are going to get into a little Knicks therapy with our guy, diehard Nets fan, Knicks season ticket holder, conflicted, but we're going to talk to him. Evan Roberts of WFAN in the building. Hello, sir. Welcome back to the show. Good morning to you, man.
Oh, good morning to you, sir. I am not conflicted. I am a Knicks hater. So there is no confliction in my bones at all. I want to make that very clear to you, as you know deep down.
Oh, man. How you feeling about this thing, man? I mean, I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. June 25th, I'm sitting at Citi Field watching my Yankees, get the doors blown off. I don't know what's happened. The Bronx is on fire, as they say. And then I get the Woj bomb, man. Mikal Bridges to the Knicks. This is not fantasy basketball. This is not NBA 2K. This is not the fake Woj account. It was real, man. Well, where were you and what was your reaction to this?
I was in Citi Field as well. Aaron Judge had just hit a grand slam to make that game closer. I think it made it 9-7. And there was a buzz in the stadium as I'm checking my phone. And I'm checking my phone really to text my wife, give her kind of an update. Hey, it's 9-7. This game may take longer. And as I'm checking my phone, I see tons of text messages. And my stomach dropped because what the hell's going on? Like, what is happening? And as I'm seeing a message, luckily from a friend of mine who's a diehard Nets fan, so at least I could get the news from a friendly place. Yeah. As I'm reading that message, I hear a voice behind me, AM, Mikal Bridges. And look, I know we had our back and forth a few months ago, and if you remember what I said, I wasn't against trading Mikal Bridges by any stretch. I knew that the Nets needed to pick a direction. What I was not expecting, what I was stunned by, what I'm still stunned by, as I talk to you right now, is the idea that they would make that trade with the New York Knicks for a few reasons, right? Yeah. So when I see Mikal Bridges to the Knicks and I see all the messages and people behind me saying it, my first reaction was, this isn't real. I need to double check. We're all being duped. This can't possibly be true. As I clicked on Shams to see that it was really him and Woj to see that it was really him, I got to tell you, I had this sunken feeling in my stomach, a feeling of I don't want to be here anymore. And granted, I'm at a Met-Yankee game, and I'm a Met fan, obviously. Yeah. You're a Yankee fan, and my team's winning. So it was a very strange feeling. It was a very depressed feeling. And now that I've had a few weeks to kind of digest why, the why is you and the New York Knicks. That's the why. It's not trading Mikal Bridges because I don't have a connection to Mikal Bridges. Yeah. I was disappointed in the season Mikal Bridges had. Like, I don't look at him as the guy we needed to build around. So it wasn't trading him. It wasn't the feeling I had when they traded Kevin Durant. It was, or even when they traded Jason Kidd because of everything he had done for the franchise. It was a feeling of, to them? Yeah. Like if that message was Utah or Houston, I think my reaction would have been more, oh, wow, really interesting. Let me see what we're doing. Obviously, right after they made the Houston trade, which was incredibly pivotal. So I was in complete shock that they made the deal with the Knicks. And you have to admit, because when we had that discussion a few months ago, and you we need the final Infinity Stone or whatever crap you said, you agreed with me that it wasn't happening. So even you looked at this as, I can't believe this trade actually went down. It was stunning.
Yeah, I was blown away. And I, as that Judge Grand Slam is leaving, I'm getting that on video. I'm posting that as like, the highlight of my night here. And then I get a call from my guys, JD Alex, like, what are you doing? Where are you at? I'm at the Met game. Get home, Mikal Bridges. So, but you're right. I did not see it happening. I didn't think there was any way possible that, number one, Cy and Marks would grant him his wish. Because, I mean, listen, it was blatantly obvious he wanted to play for the Knicks and be with those guys. But then also, just from an operational standpoint, it was 5 picks. But those Knicks picks, especially the first few, are, if all goes well for the Knicks, are going to be later first-round picks.
So that's what always scared me. When we had this discussion, it wasn't strictly, I don't want to send him to the Knicks, because I've always felt this way, especially with like the Mets, when the Mets would be at the trade deadline. I remember years ago when they traded Carlos Beltran, they ended up trading him to the Giants.
Yeah.
I had arguments on the air that I was open to trading him to Atlanta, and I was open to trading him to the Yankees if they offered the best possible deal. So it wasn't, I can't trade him to the Knicks because I hate you and I don't want you to win a title. A lot of it was, I didn't think your deal would be the best. And a part of that is a respect for where this franchise is, that most of these picks will be late first-round picks. Now, let me defend Sean Marks, who Net fans hate, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had my issues with him too, but there's a reason why I still want him to be employed. He has slayed with late first-round picks. I mean, because those are the only picks he's used.
Yeah,
like the best
fair.
draft pick he's used as Net GM is 21. I'm not even kidding you. He has never picked below that number, and he's drafted guys like Jared Allen and Nicholas Claxton and traded for Karis LeVert late first round and Noah Clowney, who we're very high on, and Cam Thomas. So it's not that those picks are useless by any stretch, but you would like, when you're trading a quote-unquote cornerstone player, to get potential lottery picks. And I think I looked at your draft picks and the assets you were going to give back, and apparently we got nothing other than Bojan Bogdanovic and the sign-in trade deal. I looked at it as, can't we do better? And I assumed they could do better. Now, I've had a few weeks to have some clarity, to kind of think about things. Maybe they couldn't do better. And maybe the 5 first-round picks, 1 with protections from Milwaukee, the 4 from you guys, maybe that is the best they could get. And that's a very tough pill to swallow, because you're right. And for all the Knicks fans out there, I have respect for your franchise. I may not like you, but I try to be fair. The odds are very low that you guys are going to become us and basically hand us Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. It could happen, sure. Like, crazy stuff could happen. Jalen Brunson could get hurt on a Monday Night Raw wrestling Tyrese Halliburton. Happen. But it's likely to be late first-round picks. And I think that was the part that was depressing that night. And that was the reason I just didn't love the idea of making a trade with you guys.
CP the Franchise, Evan Roberts, early morning edition. This is the KFTV morning show. People in the chat can't believe it. Yeah, man, wipe the coal out your eye. It is real. We are live and direct. Morning show edition. Listen, you got to be flexible here when you're doing these live shows, man. You got to accommodate everybody's schedule. I'm free. He's free. We got things to do, but we got to get it in. This was important to have this coming together for a therapy session. So here we are. So to everybody in the chat, my franchise channel members, go ahead and throw a custom emoji in the chat. Let me know that you guys are in here. Happy Friday. Lots to discuss. Cy versus Prokhorov. Would Prokhorov have made that deal?
Oh, no way. No way. And by the way, like, I know it's going to take a long time to see if this, from my end of things, your end of things is very different, if this actually works out. But there is a small part of me, and I am not a Joe Tsai fan at all. There's a small part of me that respects that if this truly was the best deal on the table, that they actually had the guts to make this trade. Because I don't think a lot of local teams would ever be okay with making this kind of deal. I mean, this could be the final piece to a Knicks championship. Like, that is very tough to fathom. And I try to be fair about it, because whenever any of my teams have made rebuilding trades, my attitude is, you know what, if it works out for them, who cares, as long as it works out for me. Well, most Net fans, all of us, all 177 of us, usually hate the Knicks, which makes perfect sense, right? We're the little brother in town. We admit that. Like, why would we not hate the Knicks? If you guys win an NBA championship, even if those picks turn out to be gold for us down the road, it's going to be very tough for us to rationalize that it was all worth it, because of our hatred for the Knicks. If this deal was made with Utah or Houston or you name the team, I think it'd be a lot easier to deal with. So I don't think there's any chance Mikal Prokhorov, Mr. Let's put a billboard up, we're taking over this town, would have ever had the guts to make this trade. What I still want to know, and you got to use your insiders to give me peace of mind.
Okay.
I need to know what the other offers were, because the Rocket trade rumor was BS. It wasn't what we thought it was. It wasn't Jalen Green and all your picks back from Mikal Bridges. It was taking the Phoenix picks back too.
Right.
So that's a little bit different. Now, I'm glad they made the eventual trade with Houston, because you cannot suck without your own picks.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I saw it this year, especially a generational draft like we have coming up, supposedly a generational draft. So I think Joseph Tsai definitely showed some level of guts. Because, like, ask yourself this, CP. If the Knicks were in this boat where things just weren't working out, and you even decided, you said to the fan base, look, we got to blow it up, it's not working, would you have made this kind of trade with the Brooklyn Nets, even a team that's our little brother to you?
No, I would never do that.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
Do that. No, never in a million years. But with this unit here, what do you think? Because you're a season ticket holder. You'll be there opening night, as will I. You know, I might not be sitting with you. Where are your seats at again?
My seats are on the Chase Bridge.
Yeah, that's way too high for me. I'm not bringing binoculars to the game. I'm in the 100s, always in the 100s. So
Let me tell you though,
yeah.
CP, the Chase Bridge, and this is where I'm going to put over the Knicks, and I'm going to put over Dolan.
Yeah,
I think the Chase Bridge is one of the most underrated seats at any sporting venue.
Yeah.
It's a great deal. Now, look, everything's expensive at Madison Square Garden. It is what it is. It's business. I understand that. But considering the prices of other seats, I would say that the Chase Bridge value pound for pound is one of the best values in all of sports. So I love the seat, and there is a good chance I'll be there opening night. Yes.
Now, it is a good seat. I did a opening night group package there 2 years ago, and it was a good time. It's definitely a good view, good deal, and good value for your money. But as they, ascend opening night, and they're probably going to be taking on, let's say, Philly or somebody like that. What do you think, man? Brunson, Bridges, OG. We'll see if Julius is there. Mitch.
I think that in a perfect world, which is what we all dream about going into a season, a perfect world in which health is not an issue. And as we saw last year, not just with the Knicks, obviously it affected the Knicks in a big way with everybody. Health is a major issue, and health is going to change the way we look at the postseason. But assuming health is right, assuming Julius Randle, if he is still on this roster, we'll see about that, fits in nicely. I have no doubt Mikal Bridges is going to fit in. Clearly, this Villanova connection is a thing that works.
Yeah.
And the chemistry he already has with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. They are, I admit, a legitimate championship contender. And you know what gives me more hope if I'm the Knicks? There's something about the Boston Celtics. And I know they won the NBA title, and I'm not taking anything away from them. Yes, they had the easiest road in the history of the NBA, but that's not their fault. Like, I don't take anything away from them. It's not their fault that Donovan Mitchell gets hurt. It's not their fault that the Knicks got ravaged and now the soft as hell Indiana Pacers are your conference finals opponents. Like, it's not their fault. I do not blame them for it. But there's always been something missing about them. And I wonder, in a year after a championship, in a year in which Jaylen Brown is probably so pissed off he's gotten snubbed by the Olympics, I wonder if the Celtics are just going to lose that killer instinct and have something off about them. And so, we all legitimately, talent-wise, should say the Boston Celtics are the team to beat. It would be disingenuous not to say that. But what would give me hope, if I'm the Knicks or if I'm Milwaukee or Philadelphia, is that I think something's going to be off about them. So the Knicks are a contender, and in my lifetime, I'm now 41 years old, this is probably the scaredest I've ever been that they could possibly win an NBA championship. Nice. That's how I would frame it.
I like that. As a hater, I like your thought process. We can unite on that front. That maybe a Celtics, championship malaise is in store. Maybe.
But you know what? We can unite on this, but there was something else that you took shots at me about.
Yeah.
There was something else that you were pissed off at me about, and it was right after you guys lost. And I don't understand why Knicks fans were so sensitive about something that I am incredibly consistent about.
Okay,
which is
talk about it.
When my team loses, and what I try to do, I am not perfect, I admit that, is I try to talk about every team as if they are my own. I try to be an independent observer. So when I give an opinion about the Knicks, again, I am not perfect. I'm certainly not you. I try to react like, hey, this is how I would feel if I'm a fan. And we live in a complicated town where we have so many different teams, Jets, Giants, Mets, Yankees, the whole thing. But when my team loses, I don't care what the expectations were. I don't care what the injuries were. I am pissed. Like, I'll give you a great example. The New York Mets. The New York Mets have now saved their season. No one thinks they could win the World Series. If they lost in the World Series, okay, they shocked the world. And they got ravaged by injuries, but they lost in the World Series, I will be pissed off. I will come on the radio and I will be angry because as a fan, we want to see our teams win. And rationality is thrown out the window. So what I expressed after the Knicks lost to Indiana was not you guys didn't have injuries. I didn't express that you guys choked like dogs or anything like that. I simply said, if I am a Knicks fan today, I'm pissed. I am not celebrating. I'm not saying thank you. I'm not like, hey, cool, we had a lot of injuries. What can you do? No, I lost a game 7 in my own building. And so I expressed that opinion. I knew as I was expressing it, Knicks fans would be sensitive because sometimes you are, and that's okay. But it is something I truly feel. If the Jets make the playoffs this year without Aaron Rodgers and get knocked out by the Chiefs, I can promise you this. I won't celebrate on the radio on Monday saying, well, gee, we had a great year. We were banged up by injuries. I am 1,000% consistent on it, and I stand by it. You guys had a fine season, I guess, but you went to the same place you went to a year earlier. And I know as a sports fan, that would never be a success to me. That would be, okay, we went to the same place we went to. And we can get into all the details on why I get that, CP. I'm not dismissing OG being hurt by any stretch. But as a fan, and maybe I'm just a broken fan, that's how I view things.
I can't blame the Knicks fans this time. It's different. This is different. This isn't 95 Ewing finger roll. This isn't 94 Starks choking and the Knicks were up 3-2 in the series. This was a little bit different here.
100%.
Like I'm going, we're going through game after game in through this playoff run, and I'm thinking this team is playing with a lot of house money here, especially with no Julius Randle. You lose Mitchell Robinson to Joel Embiid's dirty play. I'm there game 4 when Bogdanovich gets rolled up on. And I'm just like, where are we going to turn to? These guys are literally down to 6-7 players, and they're still coming out of it on top. OG Anunoby destroyed the Sixers. I mean, Josh Hart, Hartenstein, Precious Achiuwa, Brunson. These guys were fantastic. But once Anunoby went down in that Pacer game, I said, all right, we're probably not going to win this series.
Let me ask you a question,
Yeah.
and you tell me if this is a horrible comparison. Totally fine if it is. When the Nets went up 2-0 on Milwaukee in 2021, the height of success over the last decade for that freaking franchise that I hate, love, and James Harden gets hurt immediately, so was not really a part of those first 2 games. And then Kyrie turns his ankle in game 4. And the Nets at the time have a 2-1 series lead. When they lost game 7, and we would admit they had nothing left besides Kevin Durant and really Jeff Green, okay?
Yeah.
Should I have walked out of Barclays Center shrugging my shoulders saying, you know what? Whatever, bro. We were ravaged by injuries. We lost 2. Because I can tell you right now, I was despondent. I even did a podcast right after, and it's painful to listen to. I was almost crying. It was bad. And I didn't even know what was going to end up happening, which was even worse. But I know it's not a perfect comparison, but my point is not that your breakdown is wrong. Obviously, the series changed.
Yeah.
My series changed when Kyrie got hurt, and I thought that was a dirty play by Giannis. But it didn't change my emotions when it ended. And so that's all I'm saying. Like, when they lost game 7 the way they did, and they were losing big time before Jalen got hurt, as we all know, did you leave the building or leave a bar saying, well, what can you do? Or were you mad? Set the way I was.
No, because to be honest, I'm glad that game 7 went the way that it did. They blew the doors off them early, put us out the misery, that they were limping into the thing. Josh Hart, who on a normal regular season with that injury is out for weeks, could barely move.
Yep.
I mean, to rip the Band-Aid off, it was disappointing early. I was at the bar, more scotch on the way, so that by the end of it, I say, you know what? Good season, hats off. Unfortunate. I was tight that they were ravaged by injuries, but did I want to see that this team walk into Boston and then go get swept? It was over. Yeah, it was over. So that's why you get the standing ovation, because Knicks fans, they knew that. They knew the scenario, and they wanted to serenade their heroes.
I am a broken sports fan. Yeah, that's all I can say then. It's not, I'll make this clear. I'm not hating the New York Knicks with that opinion. I am just a broken human being, and I may prove that to you based on what happens with the Mets and Jets this year, because I don't think I've ever left a playoff game or a playoff loss. I'm trying to think of like a great example of it. I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in '99, the Mets played the Braves in the NLCS. Yeah. They were down 3-0. They forced a game 6. They actually had a leading game 6 late. They blew it twice. They lost. I mean, they were down 3-0 to the Atlanta Braves, like an almost dynastic National League team. And I cried myself to sleep that night. Like, I didn't rationalize, well, gee, this, that. Like, again, you're not wrong with the amazing amount of injuries the Knicks had. I am not arguing that. It's more the emotion as a fan. And what I guess the conclusion I've come to with this discussion with you and the discussion with other Knicks fans is it's not a me versus you thing. It's I'm a broken thing.
Yeah.
I'm just a sports fan that is so, I guess, effed up.
Nets,
that no matter
Jets,
how my
Knicks.
team loses, I'm going to be devastated.
Yeah. Nets, Jets, Knicks, you down bad, man.
I'm down bad.
No, sorry. Not Knicks. Nets, Jets, Mets.
Yes, all the Etzes, yes.
All the Etzes. The Etzes are doing you in, man.
Yeah, and they'll never win a championship. Yeah. That's what I've learned over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, since you like orange and blue, I should send you one of these snaps, man. These all new white KFTV snaps. And you are a fan of KnicksFanTV, so you might as well wear it. You could wear it on SNY when you're doing the show after a Knicks win.
I go back and forth because I love KnicksFanTV, as you know. I mostly like the tiers, which I respect that you like my tiers apparently too. So we all like each other's tiers. but I feel like if I ever wore a KnicksFanTV hat or shirt or whatever, that I'm endorsing the Knicks, and I could never do that. So I go back and forth.
You endorse them,
you
pay for the season tickets. That's the biggest endorsement you can get. You cut the check to Dolan every year. What do you mean?
I'm a basketball fan, man. I want to be in the building, man. I want to see the big games. I want to be able to talk about it on the radio. I want to enhance what I do, but I am not a Knicks fan. I do not root for you. I would probably cry like a baby if you guys win a championship. That is true.
CP the franchise, Evan Roberts in the building. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Early morning edition of Knicks Fan TV. Now, we're talking about this team and some moves. Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is coming into the news because as of today, he is eligible to sign an extension with the Knicks. Now, there's a lot of smoke here where there's a lot of talk that he can sign on now and leave $113 million on the table. If he were to go through this season, this coming up season, and decline his player option for 25-26, then he could sign with the Knicks for 5 years, $269. I've been telling people he's going to get 50 eventually. It's coming up. But he could be doing this team a major, major favor by signing this year, 4 years, $156.5 million, and like I said, leaving $113 million on the table. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are Jalen Brunson is a guy who gets it, and he knows what people say about him, and he knows that right now he is on the precipice, if not there already, to being the king of this city. Okay? He is right there. Aaron Judge has kind of had that kingdom for a while, but I think Yankee fans are starting to get tired of, sucking in the postseason. They're starting to kind of get a little done with that. I think Jalen Brunson knows if he ever did this, and he'll set for life no matter what. That's the beautiful thing. Like, you're doing something so noble, yet your family is set for generations. And oh, by the way, in endorsement money, you're also going to be set for life.
Yeah.
I think he knows that if he does this, two things happen that are incredible. Number one, you mentioned it. It really helps the Knicks in this new cap space world we live in of trying to avoid the second apron and all the penalties that come along with it. So I think he knows it makes building this team a little bit easier. But the other thing he knows is that if the headlines are written, and most people don't know about the cap, they don't care about the cap, they don't know about aprons, and I don't blame them, right?
Yeah.
People will see Jalen Brunson turn down $100 million to help the New York Knicks. And that headline will make him, I think, beyond almost any other athlete we've seen in terms of, wow, that guy cares about winning. Wow, it's all about winning. Like Derek Jeter had that reputation, but Derek Jeter wasn't turning down more money.
No.
Derek Jeter was pissed off at Brian Cashman when he wasn't offering him enough money.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, because Jalen Brunson seems to push every right button, I think he's going to do it. And I think a part of it is those two reasons I gave. He wants to win. He knows it helps the Knicks. He knows he's got generational money anyway, and he's going to see that money down the road as well if he continues to play at this level. And his approval rating among Knicks fans will skyrocket to levels like we've never seen before. Yeah. So, man, you guys, I give Leon a lot of credit. You guys hit the jackpot in terms of acquiring the right guy at the right moment who is better than any of us could have imagined and has the perfect attitude for this city. Even when he was crying. Remember when he was crying after a Knicks game? They were telling him about being an all-star and all that kind of stuff. Like, that even got me. I was like, oh, my God, this guy's crying about how much he loves New York and how much this means to him. He pushes all the right buttons, Jalen Brunson, so I almost expect him to do it.
It seems like the smoke is there. I almost expected it as well, and like I said, it could come down as early as today, and you can forget it, man. When you talk about approval rating, it's already through the roof. Whatever meter there is, it's already broken way past that. He does this now. I mean, you can forget about it, but I mean, it just speaks to him being that selfless player who wants to lead, but also understands that, like, this team is getting close, man.
Yeah.
Leon, they're ready to make moves. They are making moves. Leon is making his move. He's putting the chips in the middle, and this can help.
This was the big one. I mean, when you spend all these years kind of trading back, keeping your picks, adding other picks, never really drafting, you're doing it for that moment. And I know you guys have talked about it for years. We've certainly done it on the fan of like, who's the star going to be? Yeah. And it's always like the typical cliched names that are never going to happen, like Joel Embiid or Giannis Antetokounmpo. It was never going to be that. Now, I'm stunned it was Mikal Bridges, but I do think it's the right guy at the right time. And look, I know that there are people mocking the amount of picks for a guy that's never been an all-star, and I'm not a huge fan of Mikal Bridges as a number one, but the reason I love the trade for you guys is that you're not trading for him to be a number one.
Exactly.
Like, I needed him to be our savior. He wasn't good enough. He's not Jalen Brunson. Like, I had this argument on the air the other day where I said, if you took Jalen Brunson and you put him on the Nets with the exact same roster from last year, and you put Bridges and you put him on the Knicks, exact same roster, I think the Nets are a playoff team. And that's a credit to Jalen Brunson. That's not a knock on Tom Thibodeau or anybody like that. Like, I think Jalen Brunson does that. But for what you're trying to do and for your fit, you've got to get that player because he's the perfect fit. So this idea of, well, he's not an all-star. Can you believe it? They gave up 5 first-round picks for this guy, and DeJounte Murray costs this? You have to look at the fit. You have to look at why this team did this. He is the perfect fit for this team. Like, I love Donovan Mitchell. I'd say Donovan Mitchell's a better player than Mikal Bridges. Yeah. But Mikal Bridges fits better than Donovan Mitchell. Right. It is a better trade for you guys to go after Bridges than it was Donovan Mitchell.
It's a much better trade. And like you said, you can't look at these trades as one-to-one. Is this guy worth it? Well, value's relative to the buyer, right? He's worth it to the Knicks because they feel like he's another guy that can move the ball forward. And when you have Brunson, now you have OG, Mikal Bridges, DiVincenzo. They like, I've said it on my show on Tuesday, they want that Celtics model. They want 5 guys who can put the ball on the floor, who are capable of scoring. Don't need to do too much because at the end of the day, it's going to be in 11's hands in crunch time anyway, and he's going to deliver. But when you put these 2 wings out there now you've got positional versatility. You've got defensive IQ. I mean, Mikal Bridges, he was Defensive Player of the Year, runner-up just a couple of years ago.
And look, he was bad defensively last year. That's why a lot of Net fans have turned on him. But what I say to my fellow Net fan is, hey, you guys are right. Like, the Nets ultimately made the right decision to blow it up because you can't build around this guy.
No.
But that's a completely different role that he's being asked for with the Knicks. So our bitterness towards him, and I've expressed it on the air, and people are like, oh, you're killing Mikal Bridges. I said, no, I'm killing Mikal Bridges for my team. Like, he wasn't good enough to be our alpha. He doesn't have to be the alpha on your team. So it's one of those things where I'll probably always be bitter against him because I had higher hopes for what he could be. I actually thought there was a lot of Jalen Brunson in him. Hey, get a guy out of a situation where he's playing next to stars, give him the keys to the castle, and he's going to blossom. Yeah. Jalen Brunson did. Mikal Bridges didn't. It is what it is, but he doesn't have to do that on your team.
True indeed, man. TP the franchise, Evan Roberts here. You can catch Evan on WFAN, man, 2 o'clock to 6 or 6:30 today. What time are you guys going to?
We're on till 6:30, Yankees-Orioles tonight. Big series for the Yanks.
Evan and Tiki on 2 to 6:30, man. Make sure you tap in with the guys. What do you think about this NBA TV deal coming up? Amazon's in the mix. NBC's back in the mix. You got
there's a positive and there's a negative.
Games on different channels every night. What do you think?
You know what? That doesn't bother me because I'm used to it already with the NFL packages and baseball games are everywhere. I'm excited about Round Ball Rock. I mean, that's a must. We have to have that back. That's my childhood. That's your childhood. What devastated me so much, so as a big Nets fan growing up, we get to the finals in 2002, Round Ball Rock. It was so amazing. Like, oh my God, Jason Kidd. My team is a part of this iconic song. The following year, 2003, that was the first year of ABC. And so I lost it. So they're in the finals again against the Spurs, and I was so pissed off that we didn't have, like, the iconic song. So the return of Round Ball Rock is amazing. You guys have to love that as 90s Knicks fans, at least some of you. But if we're not going to have TNT, if we're not going to have Charles Barkley, if we're not going to have that crew, that's a huge loss for the NBA. It is the most iconic sports programming show, pregame, whatever you want to call it, I think, in the history of the medium. So that's the sad part of the TV deal. Obviously, there's billions of dollars coming in, so the salary cap's going to explode over the next bunch of years. But the return of Round Ball Rock is awesome. The loss of that show is devastating.
Big time. I don't know how they're going to fill that. Hopefully, I don't know if those guys are able to land on Amazon, or is Amazon going to go with younger talent? We'll see what happens there, but that's going to be a little tricky. I'd like to see my guy Gus Johnson get into the mix. I don't like him being out there on the sidelines. He does the college basketball and stuff on Fox. But I'd like to see Gus Johnson just not be, coming off the bench here. I'd like to see him get a prominent role. Iron Eagle as well. I like Iron.
Gus Johnson makes every game feel bigger. That'd be my description of him as a broadcaster, as a fan. Like, he could call me and you playing a horse in my front yard, even though I would probably suck, I admit. My game is not, shockingly enough, my game is not great. but he would make that sound like the NBA Finals. That's what Gus Johnson does better than almost anybody.
Yeah, I like him. Raftery. You have Iron Eagle. His son, Noah Eagle's going to be doing a lot of Olympics, so I think he could be in the mix when NBA and NBC comes back. So it's going to be interesting. And like I said, you're going to have a national TV game on every channel every night. You just got to figure out where. Because you got
the one thing I know is that my team will not be on any of those national TV games.
No, it will not be featuring Cam, the human highlight reel Thomas, Boyan Bogdanovic, Nick Claxton, and the researching Nets. No, it won't. It won't, man. That'll be.
Hey, don't leave out Noah Clowney. That's my guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Don't leave him out. He's our future stud.
And Noah Clowney as well, man. Will you be tapping into the Olympics? Any interest in the Olympics basketball this year?
Slightly. You know, the problem I have is during the summer, I want to just watch baseball and relax.
Yeah.
You know, because during the NBA season, much like you, I watch every freaking game. This year's going to be a test, by the way, with the Nets. I mean, I've experienced it before, but it is, I think basketball is the toughest sport to watch in a rebuild year of any other sport because there is no chance. I'm a big you never know kind of guy. Yeah. Like even when the Mets were struggling, I gave the whole, well, you never know, maybe you get hot. I think in the NBA, when you have a bad rebuilding, quote-unquote tanking team, you have less shot than any other team or any other sport. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. But my issue with Olympic basketball has always been that I've just watched basketball for like 10 months straight. And I watch it all. And now it's, okay, I need a break. It's why, you know, spring football doesn't work for me. It's why the if they ever had baseball, World Baseball Classic in November or December, it'd be like, it's just, my eyes need a little bit of a break. Yeah, no, I hear you. And, you know, on the Nets thing, well, that's why you hedge your bets as a Knicks season ticket holder. So you will have plenty of fantastic two-end basketball, offensively, defensively. The ball's going to be whizzing around. They're going to be locking people up. You're going to have great basketball to watch on the other side from your seats in the Chase Bridge, man. So I will be going, and I'm thinking about wearing the jersey of the opponent every single time I go. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I will be that anti-fan. That one guy that shows up at Madison Square Garden wearing a Wizards jersey when you guys are playing the Wizards. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. For me with Olympics, like I've always still had that like dream team nostalgia when the Olympics come on. Even though the competition, obviously the USA team for the most part has been on top of the sport, I still get that where I want to see like that all-star team of players come together and win. And seeing, you know, LeBron and KD probably on their last one, Steph Curry his first and probably last. Looking forward to that. You know what's ruined it a little bit, to your point, is when I was growing up watching the Dream Team like you, it was so unique to see all these legends playing together. And now when I see legends playing together, I think, oh, yeah, they were teammates a few years ago. Yeah. Or I think, oh, they're planning to be teammates next year. And in a weird way, the super team has sort of ruined the Olympic team. Yeah. Well, it's going to be a lot of interesting teams. I wanted to go, because I'm going to be out there around that time. I wanted to go to the Serbia game, USA-Serbia, man. Couldn't get a ticket, man. Hottest ticket, probably. Hot ticket, man. It's a hot ticket, man. You got Jokic playing in the game as well. Oh, I get it. Yeah. I can understand why. Yeah. Definitely some good ones. Last one for you. The Mets Bible, the book that you wrote. My Mets Bible, yes. The Mets Bible. I wrote a book. How's that going, man? It's been great. I took scorecards from every Met game. I score every Mets game. It's part of my craziness. Yeah, yep. And I picked the 81 most memorable games. Not necessarily wins. A lot of losses in there. I published it. I told stories about how I was feeling at the time and certainly my life. So it was a lot of fun. It was very cathartic going through all of those New York Mets losses. And it was the easiest thing to write a book because it was like writing a cathartic diary. So it's gone well. It's out there on Amazon. I even did an audio book if you are out there and you don't like reading, which a lot of us don't. We just want to hear stuff, whether it's KFTV or a radio show. So you can get the audio book. But I appreciate it. My Mets Bible. Thank you for mentioning it. I'll leak a little something out here. No one's heard this. I am kicking the tires on the book, man. So nice. Yeah, I'm kicking the tires on the book. We are in the planning stages. We are in the planning stages. So what are some tips here on getting this thing done, getting it to the finish line, man? Oh, so what you got to do is take your time and act like it's not a job, and it won't be because you love. I assume you're going to be writing about the Knicks. That's my assumption. Yeah. You love the Knicks. You love sports. So the way I did it is like every day I wrote for an hour, and the hour felt like 5 minutes because when you're talking, in this case we're talking or writing about things you love, it's just not work, and it doesn't feel overwhelming. And I think that's the beauty of doing what we do. That's a good anecdote and a good one to leave off on. Evan the Snake Roberts, ladies and gentlemen. Knicks Therapy. Evan, thanks again for the time, man. Always appreciate it. I can't hear you, bro. I think I lost
Ah,
you.
we lost
I'm
it. All
sorry.
right, man.
But thank you for having me on if you still hear me.
All right, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Evan Roberts. We had the Zoom glitch again, man. We had the Zoom glitch again, but right on time. We were basically wrapping up anyway. So shout out to Evan for the time. A little Knicks therapy, if you will, on an early morning edition of KFTV, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. This is happening, getting Evan's thoughts on the Bridges trade. We're talking Brunson. Brunson, potential extension could be coming soon, maybe as early as today. So let's look out for that. Tonight, we will be back on tonight. JD Sports Talk coming on tonight. Me and JD, we will preview the Knicks Summer League team. Summer League starts tomorrow. And also, the NBA Cup is back. The in-season tournament and the group stage, the groups will be revealed tonight at 7 p.m. So once we find out who the Knicks play, we will come back and kind of break it down, chop it all up, and see where we're at. Last year, we had the Bucks in our group, the Wizards, the Hornets, and the Miami Heat. So let's see where the Knicks fall in this one, man. How's everybody doing in the chat? Salute to everybody in the chat. White snaps are in, ladies and gentlemen, and they are crispy, man. We got the new 3D pop-out finish. New era branded, of course. Shop.KnicksFanTV.com. Make sure that you guys get yours. The summertime heat requested by the fans. Salute to the fans that wanted this one. This one was a long time in the making. And yeah, man, I'm definitely feeling that snap. So make sure that you guys go out and get it. Also, support our sponsors, man. Support our sponsors at Manscaped, fellas. Go to manscaped.com. Use our code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Or when it comes to summertime, our guys at Manscaped have you laced with all the products that you need to stay fresh, stay clean, and take care of the family jewels, man. The #1 men's grooming tool below the waist. Over 20 million satisfied customers. Plus, they've got the beard hedger kit. You got the close neck shaver. You got the weed whacker, nose and ear trimmer. Plus shampoo, body wash, conditioner, cologne, deodorant. They literally have everything, fellas. So there's no reason to be out there hairy and smelly, especially when you're out there on the streets, man. If you're going out there on your dates, get prepared. Preparation is the key. Manscaped.com. Use our code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Okay. Venturi in the chat says, White Hat looks so appreciated, man. Harlem's Alfredo. He's got his Manscaped logo. Franchise channel member. Salute. All right, let me salute. Let me catch up on some super chats that came in, and then we'll let you guys get back to it. How many people we got in the chat right now? We got 1,100 people in the chat at 10 a.m. Holy moly, good looking, man. Salute to everybody. Where's everybody tapping in from? Throw your cities, throw your countries in the chat. I want to see if it's my friends from across the pond that are mostly in the chat, or is it my people on the East Coast, West Coast? Where you guys tapping in from, man? Definitely appreciate everybody tapping in. 1,100 at 10 a.m. KFTV is on fire. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So make sure, like I said, you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. J2B Music, any word on Precious? Nothing yet. Nothing. All quiet on the Precious front. No word. And more options coming off the table in terms of backup point guard, in terms of center. Kyle Lowry just went back to Philly. I don't know. Salute, man. Who we got? Lawrence Smith checking in from Stanford CT. Salute, man. 7 a.m. in Vegas. Flyboy Kev. Kev, are you pulling up to Vegas? Are you coming to the meetup in Vegas, man? That's another thing. Kev, thanks for reminding me. It's another thing that I need to tell you guys about. Another announcement. The Vegas meetup has been confirmed and announced. This will be a meetup with Knicks Film School and KFTV as well, and it will be at the Tilted Kilt. It will be at the Tilted Kilt at in Las Vegas, at the Link Promenade. CP the Franchise, Macri, and the boys. We will be there, man. 8:30 p.m. Pacific. So make sure that you guys are there. Pull up on us. We'll have a drink, have some food, have some eats, chop it up, and we'll get to it. That'll be this Sunday, the 14th. In Las Vegas at the Tilted Kilt. The address is 3545 Las Vegas Boulevard. It's inside the promenade. So you go inside the promenade, and most likely, if you're coming from the strip side, it'll be on your left. And if you're coming from the backside, it'll be on your right-hand side. Tilted kilt. All right, Flyboy Kev says he's showing up. Come through, Kev, and holla at your boy, man. Make sure you guys come through. All right, let me see where you guys are checking in from, man. See where you guys checking in from. Shaolin, Billy R. repping Nova Scotia. Shout out to Aiden Wilson. Aiden, what's the weather like in Nova Scotia right now? Shout out to Halifax, man. My people out there. Who else? Jersey, LIBX checking in from the grind. Will Latimer, ATL repping Harlem. Let's go. Early morning show. Muhammad Mustafa checking in from the Bay Area at 7 a.m. That's a diehard's diehard. Ari from Taiwan, my guy Ari in here says he's a collab king. Well, this is what we do, man. Number one show for the fans by the fans. You know you're going to get high quality, top quality guests. And that's what we specialize in, man. Quality, quality, quality. That's just what we do, man. So make sure you guys just continue to support us and we will return a favor. So, yeah, lots going on, man. Like I said, we got the show coming back up tonight. We're doing a doubleheader. If the Brunson extension is signed and announced, we will do that. So it might be a triple header tonight. I got stuff I got to do for Vegas. We got post game tomorrow. Knicks versus, who are they playing first? The Hornets. So we got to take a look at that because this Knicks Summer League team is also looking very, very interesting. I'm very intrigued by this team. Going to be a team that I actually want to, take a look at this year. Shout out to Dice Yoshimoto. He'll be coaching once again. But you got Dadier is playing. Ariel Hukporty. Rokas. What's going on, Rokas? We're going to talk about that tonight. Tyler Kolek, obviously. Kevin McCullough. So, yeah, man, it's going to be an action-packed Summer League, and this team is looking very promising. And let's see what that means for the back end of the rotation, especially this year. All right? So, yeah, that's the story, guys. I'm about to get back to the Grizzly here. Salute to everybody for tapping in. Remember, man, shop.KnicksFanTV.com. Get your white snaps. Shout out to Manscaped. And also remember that the show is available in audio podcast format, man. No reason to miss it. You can catch us on all major podcast platforms. If you did miss today's show, hit the replay button, hit the rewind button. Shout out to the replay gang always, man. So, yeah, man, we'll see you guys later on. Tap in. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Stay dry. Peace, man. We out of here. Peace.